So what if we wanted to only index the subpaths within the wave measurement field? We can use the wildcard projection option when creating the index. You may be familiar with projections from the MongoDB query language. The concept is exactly the same here, except we're specifying which fields we wish to index in the collection. The wildcard projection can be used to specify a set of fields to include in the index, or it can be used to specify a set of fields to exclude from the index. To index all subpaths in the wave measurement field, we would do the following. Okay, great. So our index is created. Let's see how our queries perform when querying a field in a nested document in the wave measurement field. So we're going to query on wavemeasurement.cstate.quality and have a look at the explain plan. Okay, great. So our query used the index. All good so far. But let's say we don't want to index all subpaths of the wave measurement field. We see that we're only accessing the wavemeasurement.wave subpath, so the fields outside this double nested document are not needed. We can index on wavemeasurement.waves and all subpaths using wildcard indexes also. Let's go back to the shell and see how we can do this. Okay, so this command is creating an index on wavemeasurement.waves and all subpaths. You may notice that we're using the familiar MongoDB query language dot notation and the $* operator that we used earlier on. Okay, so our index has been created. Let's query to see how the index works. So here we're querying on wavemeasurement.waves.height, and great, we can see that our query used the index. One note about covered queries. That is, queries which can retrieve all the requested data from the index itself without needing to actually go to the collection. As we've seen above, queries which use multiple fields can benefit from wildcard indexes. But it's also important to note that wildcard indexes can only cover queries if the query is on a single field. In other words, if the user is querying on a single field and uses a projection which returns only that field, then the wildcard index can cover the query. Something similar to this. For queries with multiple fields, we will need to manually create compound indexes if we wish to have these queries covered. Let's review the syntax for wildcard indexes. We can use the standard create index command to create a wildcard index, but we need to use the $* operator if we want to index everything in the collection. We can use standard dot notation to specify a subpath to index in each document, and we can also use wildcard projections to specify which fields and subpatterns we wish to index. Let's recap. Wildcard indexes are useful for unpredictable workloads. They are not a replacement for traditional standard indexes. You can index on all fields in a document or on a subset of fields using either dot notation or wildcard projections. And that's a brief introduction to our new wildcard index feature in MongoDB 4.2.